Hollywood has seen countless actresses rise, only to be lost far too soon. These actresses, who were full of talent and promise, left an undeniable mark before their lives were tragically cut short. Whether through illness, accidents, or personal struggle, their untimely deaths serve as heartbreaking reminders of life's fragility. Here, we remember those gone way too soon. Let's start with Sky Nicole Bartusiak. As a child actress, she captivated audiences in The Patriot, playing the daughter of Mel Gibson's character with an emotional depth that was rare for somebody so young.
So tell me about making the movie. Tell me about Mel Gibson.
He's a really fun guy. He was just a regular guy, family person.
She had talent, but as she grew older, Hollywood lost sight of her and she struggled to find her place again. On July 19, 2014, she was found unresponsive in her Texas home, and despite her mother's desperate attempts to revive her, she was gone. The cause? An accidental overdose of painkillers and muscle relaxants. She was only 21, a young woman with so much more to give, slipping away in silence, and it still doesn't feel real. Next up is Aliyah. Her voice was smooth, effortless, and yet full of power. Hollywood noticed, and she began making her mark in films like Queen of the Damned and Romeo Must Die.
It was Jet's idea, actually, to do the whole kind of dance choreography fight scene. And it took 3 days to shoot, and I did all my own stunts, so one of my favorite scenes, definitely.
Then, in August of 2001, everything stopped. After filming her final music video in the Bahamas, she and her crew boarded a small plane. It was overloaded, rushed, and flown by an unqualified pilot. It crashed moments after takeoff, killing everybody on board. She was just 22 when the accident happened. And then there's Lucy Gordon, who had the kind of face that you didn't forget, striking and timeless. Her role in Spider-Man 3 put her on the map, but it was Sergei Gainsborough, a herald life, that truly showcased her death. She was on the brink of something bigger and lasting, but then in May of 2009, just days before her 29th birthday, she ended her life in her Paris apartment. She left notes for all of her loved ones, but the pain that led her there remained a mystery. A career that was about to take flight was suddenly grounded forever. Those who knew her still wonder what might have been if she would have not left us too soon. Next up is Gia Allermont. She had the kind of presence that made people lean in. She wasn't just another reality TV contestant, she was magnetic. And it was The Bachelor that introduced her to the world. She had dreams of a future, but beneath her beautiful smile, darkness lurked. In August 2013, at just 29 years old, she took her life. She had battled depression, which she hid behind the perfect image. In the aftermath, conversations about mental health in the entertainment world grew louder. But for her, those discussions came far too late. A beautiful soul was already lost in silence. Let's talk about Tara Correa McMullen, who was just 16 when Hollywood took notice. She had raw talent and an effortless screen presence. On Judging Amy, she played a troubled teen involved with gangs, a role that felt painfully close to home. Off the screen, her life wasn't glamorous. She fell in with the wrong crowd, drawn into a world far from the bright lights of Hollywood. On October 21, 2005, she was standing outside an apartment complex in Inglewood, California, when gunfire erupted. She was shot multiple times and gone in an instant. The industry barely had time to realize her potential before she was taken away. Up next is Adrienne Shelly. She was more than just an actress. She was a storyteller. She was known for independent films while working with directors like Hal Hartley. But it was Waitress that cemented her place in history. She wrote, directed, and starred in the film, creating something heartfelt and timeless. Then, in November 2006, her life was stolen. A construction worker who was caught in a moment of rage murdered her in her New York apartment. He staged it as a suicide, but the truth came out. She was just 40 years old. Waitress went on to become a Broadway sensation, ensuring that her voice lived on even in death. Moving on, Sammy Kane Kraft wasn't just another child actress, she was a true athlete. She was just 13 years old when she landed the role of Amanda Wurlitzer in the Bad News Bears remake, and she nailed it. What made her stand out wasn't just her acting, it was her spark. She had real talent, no doubt, but her heart wasn't set on Hollywood alone. Off-screen, she was just as impressive. Life had so much in store for her. But on October 9th, 2012, her life ended tragically at the age of 20. A drunk driver collided with her vehicle on a Los Angeles freeway. She was young. A life full of promise was stolen in a moment of recklessness. She had talent, ambition, and a future waiting for her. The world will never know what she could have achieved. Next on our list is Naya Rivera, who stole hearts as Santana Lopez on Glee. She blended fierce confidence with vulnerability. She was a natural performer from childhood who commanded attention with her powerhouse voice and her strong screen presence. Off-screen, she was a dedicated mother. In July 2020, she tragically drowned in a boating accident at Lake Piru after saving her young son. Authorities believe she used her last strength to push her son onto the boat before being pulled under by the lake's currents. She was only 33 years old. The world mourned a talent lost too soon. But her music, performances, and her spirit, they're still with us. That brings us to Brittany Murphy. She had a way of making you feel like you knew her, like she was your friend. She first caught everybody's attention with her roles in Clueless and 8 Mile, roles that seemed to just scratch the surface of her potential. But behind her vibrant personality, she faced personal battles that many never saw. In December of 2009, she was found unresponsive in her home. She was only 32 years old when she passed away. The cause of her death was later attributed to a combination of pneumonia and anemia, along with medications. It was a loss that hit hard, especially because it felt like Brittany had so much more to give. Even now, to some people, her absence still doesn't feel real. Up next is J. Madison Wright Morris. She was one of those young actors who made a lasting impression from the start. Most people remember her from Earth 2, where she played True Danziger. It was a role that showcased her talent, which was way beyond her years. She also appeared in shows like The Nanny and ER, proving that she had the range to take on any role. But behind the scenes, her health was fragile. She was diagnosed with restrictive cardiomyopathy as a teenager and underwent a heart transplant in 2000. In 2006, just a day after returning from her honeymoon, she suffered a fatal heart attack and died at the age of 21. A promising life cut short tragically. Last on our list is Laurel Griggs. She was just a kid, but already making waves on Broadway. She stepped onto the stage when she was only 6, performing in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof alongside Scarlett Johansson. Later, she took on a role in Once, and people started to really notice her. She also popped up on Saturday Night Live and seemed to be heading for big things. Sadly, in November of 2019, her life was cut short.
The death of a 13-year-old Broadway star, Laurel Griggs' grandfather says she suffered from obstructive lung disease and died after a massive asthma attack last week.
She was just 13 years old, and it's heartbreaking to think of everything that she could have done. The young star was gone far too soon, leaving behind a legacy of dreams that never had the chance to unfold. Their untimely death serves as heartbreaking reminders of life's fragility. How much more could they have given if fate had just allowed it?